In business for over 35 years, Warszawa Restaurant in Santa Monica remains one of the rare and few truly authentic Polish restaurants in Southern California. Owner Alina Oleg's homeland recipes honor the warmth and simplicity of the cuisine, but effectively surpass your expectations with enormous flavor. The restaurant was converted from a freestanding house in the early turn of the century, but never lost the charm and coziness of a home filled with culture, family, and great food. Join us on a tasty adventure to classic Eastern European cuisine at Warszawa. Well, we finally made it to Santa Monica. Actually, we're pretending we're in Poland here for a little while. So.
You mean this isn't Poland?
No, it's not Poland, but it's indicative of everything cultural.
I have one question. How did you find this place?
You know, actually, my boyfriend is Polish, and his family introduced me to Galopkes and Pierogies for the first time during our initial courtship, and I was so enamored with the food. You know, being from an Eastern European background myself, I had to do a little digging, and I found this is one of the very few authentic Polish restaurants in all of Southern California.
Talk about charming. There's so many rooms here. Every room has a story to tell. The paintings.
This is an old converted house. It was actually built at the turn of the century, and it's made it through all our earthquakes and little nooks and crannies everywhere. It's totally darling.
That's right, but the food, that's what brings people here, as well as the owners. Nice service and windows. But let's start with some of the food here. First one is latkes. Now, normally when I think of latkes, I think around Hanukkah time when I make latkes myself. You know, matzo meal, eggs, onion, and potatoes, and they're real thick and crispy. These are different. These are thinner. You get 4 thin, crisp pancakes made with potatoes, salt, onions, eggs, and flour, served with a warm apple and prune compote. Delicious. I mean, I'm not used to thin ones, but these are very good.
All you have to do is just take 12 and stack them together, and then you have our style of...
Well, off camera, you said about 42, so...
I could easily eat 42 of these. And they've got the sour cream to go with it. I just love that she made an apple compote along with the plum to go with it instead of a regular applesauce.
Sweet, crispy, salty.
Great, simple, traditional, you know, classic European food. And, you know, so many variations in every country. They've got their own style. Right. So I loved it. And then we have the plums and bacon. You know, again, more variations to this. I do dates wrapped with bacon or prosciutto and stuffed with almonds. Here she did whole, big, juicy, fat plums. She wrapped them in a bacon, deep fried them, and you know, listen, if it's wrapped in pig, it's going to be fabulous.
Well, not only the flavor, but it's actually a prune. So guess what? You can be regular and eat healthy too. So
is that why you took off for 20 minutes?
That's oh, I love bacon and prunes really go together. So, and that's the theme of all the food here. This is peasant food. This is food that just comfort food that we all grew up with, especially if you're from a European background. My family's from Lithuania, but let's go on. Next one, some soups. Oh my goodness.
This was a trio of soups. There were 3 different kinds.
Unbelievable. Borscht with cucumbers, beets, dill, green onion, egg, and yogurt. So it's a delicious base.
And that's a cold soup, right? Yeah. The borscht is always traditionally served cold.
But the next one, that's what did me in. Pickle soup. I've never had that before. It's chicken broth with kosher pickles chopped in, with potatoes, carrots, and sour cream. Absolutely stunning, delicious. I could have drank a quart of it. It's
I think
unbelievable.
You probably did with the
so
straw.
Good.
That was the first time I've ever eaten pickle soup, so it was not only just the first, but the best pickle soup I've ever had. Super refreshing, nice acidity, just with the balance of the starch and the acid was just terrific.
Then they had a split pea soup, more traditional, with chopped ham, onions, peas. It was
hearty,
good.
thick,
hearty
rich.
Soup.
But I liked the borscht, and the cucumber made it so nice and refreshing. I can't choose.
You mentioned the word hearty just now. Hearty is a main theme of European food, Eastern European food. Everything here is hearty and made with a lot of love and passion. And this food goes back centuries. I mean, this is unbelievable food.
It is. It is
it's
indeed.
Fun,
and pierogies are It's like a Polish peasant food, but again, the variations in all European, the styles are different. It basically means a package stuffed with some kind of a filling. So the pierogies that we had here, she had 4 different variations. She had a chicken with stuffed with herbs. It's a ground chicken stuffed with herbs and sorrel, which is kind of a tart, herbaceous flavor to it, a little bit sour. There was also a wild mushroom with shredded cabbage, nice and tangy. There was the cheese and potato, tasted like they filled it with goat cheese to give it a little bit of, rich, again, tanginess. And then you have an option to go for the fried or the steamed version. 2 pierogies for a couple of bucks, and I just think you can't go wrong with
Dumplings, every ethnicity has a dumpling, and these are great dumplings.
Did you know that in Pittsburgh, actually every July in the Pittsburgh Pirates baseball team, they have a pierogi race?
Oh, no.
The guys dress up in full pierogi costumes and they race to a finish line.
Only in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So now for one of the favorites, and this is a signature dish, the Galopkey, or you pronounce it...
Galopkey.
Boy, someone who speaks the language. These are 2 large stuffed cabbage leaves with beef, caramelized onions, and jasmine rice mixture. It's baked in a delicious tomato broth, and it's topped with paprika sauce. I love this dish. I love the outside. The inside was nice and crispy, the outside. The inside had some wonderful flavor to it, but that sauce really brought the whole dish together. It's what made the dish.
Completely.
Paprika is a wonderful seasoning that it can be overused, and be bitter, but this is just perfect.
For her to be, we've tasted our own version of Russian cabbage rolls, stuffed cabbage, the Jewish kind, the
Sweet
Russian kind,
sour.
Ukrainian kind. For her to get that amount of flavor out of the simple ingredients that were used was outstanding. By far best stuffed cabbage I've ever had.
It also comes with fresh string beans. It comes with a scoop of mashed potatoes and a
That
scoop
wasn't
of
exciting. The
yam
cabbage
puree.
rolls was just, it was just terrific.
Yeah.
My boyfriend's going to be upset because, his family in Chicago make a pretty darn good Galopkey, but
I don't know if you can beat this one.
this one's a winner. And then we had the Veal Paprikash, again, going back to the Hungarian and the Russian style paprika. Paprika being the dominant flavor. There's probably 8 or 9 different variations of paprika, from sweet to hot to pungent. This was a super flavorful dish of extremely tender chunks of veal with a really nice, flavorful red and bell pepper sauce, and the tomatoes as well, and then of course the paprika. So that kind of brought it all together, really velvety. Clearly there's almost nothing left. They served it with a side of a Spätzle, which is just really like
dumplings.
a little dumpling. It's like from Germany, and
Just
then
dough.
they fry it off with some butter, and it can't get any better than that. So
That was a delicious sauce, and again, nothing fancy here. It's just homemade and just so good. Oh, But speaking of good, I thought the next one was stunningly
no, that
the
wasn't
best.
good. It was
we killed that one.
fabulous.
This is a duck with apples. Now this is a 1/2 Long Island duck that's marinated, it's roasted, then it's dunked in their own duck fat and rendered, so it becomes really crisp. So it's fried basically at the end to finish it off. So the exterior is very crisp, almost void of fat, which duck can be real fatty, tender and juicy in the middle.
Did it terrify you that they served it with a
Knife in it,
down
yeah.
to the center of it?
I kept thinking of Donald Duck. I'm like, no. But it's just incredible. It was served with apple and prune compote, Spätzle, and a really tangy cranberry sauce.
You just rip off the skin and the meat, you dunk it in, you use your fingers. The cranberry was just the perfect tart and sweetness together.
And it's only $22. This is a steal. I want to take 10 home.
That was just a bargain, absolutely.
Half a duck.
One of the better ducks I've ever had. It was super yummy. Then we had the chicken Schnitzel, which some say Schnitzel originated in Vienna in the 13th, 14th centuries. We don't really know. Everyone takes claim for it. Basically, again, it's a variation. You alternate the protein. It could be veal, it could be beef, it could be, lamb, it could be chicken. This was the chicken Schnitzel, probably one of the better I've had. They pounded probably 12 or 14 ounces of this into submission. And then, of course, the egg wash, a little bit of batter with flour and spices. Then they pan fry it. It was nice and peppery, a little bit of garnish on the top. They served it, though, with a shredded carrot, apple, onion, and sauerkraut. they normally serve it with a potato, but she said, you already ate the potato, I'm gonna give you some carrot. I loved this carrot mixture, and I thought the sweetness and the tartness made the schnitzel just perfect.
Well, the carrots was fresh carrots, caramel onions, sauerkraut, apples, and a little olive oil, and it was all fresh, so they just mixed it around. Delicious.
And what flavor? It extracted huge flavor.
Yeah,
Again,
and then they had delicious cucumber,
with
fresh
dill
cucumbers
sauce
with dill sauce
and yogurt, and again, all very similar ingredients, but they really extract a ton of flavor, and I was super impressed. You know, thanks. I was supposed to be taking that home, and yeah, it's pretty much a goner. So we finished it off again with another classic. We had homemade crepes, which here she filled it with a sweet cream cheese sauce, or just a sweet fluffy cream cheese, folded it over, and then made a nice raspberry compote. Just delicious, a great way to finish off a superbly elegant meal.
And again, not fancy, but just made with a lot of love. This is what people eat in Europe. And man, they're lucky.
Well, for centuries and centuries, they had, very limited, and, especially during those war years when they were very limited in their ingredients, they got super creative. And I think her level of creativity here is really stands out for me, and I'm definitely coming back.
Well, my favorites for sure was the duck.
Yeah.
And the cabbage rolls, yeah.
I'm going to totally agree, right there in that order for me as well. I would come back for those two dishes specifically. Fantastic food. I'm so happy we got to go to Europe together.
Well, they had about 25 more items, so we got to come back again one day and eat our way through the whole menu.
Absolutely.
Sounds great.
Before I send you off to the IE again, I just wanted to mention I'm going to be playing in the back. They have a beautiful patio in the background with couches and very friendly people, shot glasses I hear, and this is one of the very few places that carry this extraordinary Polish, it's a bison grass flavored vodka. You just can't find anything like this.
It grows only in Poland.
Only in Poland, and only Polish cows eat this. So, but they have a whole selection of Polish beers and wines, and they have a really fun patio on the outside. They do classic movies a couple nights a week, and it's just a great place to party. And I'm going to be headed that way.
Can I have that one bison straw? Isn't that neat?
I'm going to take this with me. I'm going to send you off to hit the 91 freeway. I'm staying by the
So you're
beach.
taking that in the cabbage roll, and I just get to leave.
That's pretty much it.
Life's not fair.
So you have a good time. I'm going to go play. Next time we see you, we'll be out back in the Inland Empire with Cassidy, exploring some new tasty treats.
Oh, come on. Let me have just a little bit.
No, you don't
Oh,
drink.
man.
What are you talking
That's
about?
true. I don't.